So here I am going to be replacing the lower ball joint in my 2009 Mitsubishi Lancer. This is the new one. The ball joint is actually built into the support arm here. There it is there. You can see how stiff the new one is, as opposed to the old one. This here is the old one from the driver's side that I've already completed. But look how loose that is. And you can hear that knocking when you're driving along. Anyway, so I'll show you how to, it's actually relatively easy, just a bit of, throw a bit of muscle into it, but I'll show you which bolts you need to loosen up. First of all, you need to remove one of these shrouds, and you just get a tool or a flathead, or if you've got something similar to this, you got to remove one, two. Mine's missing one up here, and there's 4 more on the underside here. So I'll go get that done now. Now that I've got all those clips removed, you can take away this shroud. So that you can access one of the bolts here that we're going to need to remove, which is, so we're going to need to remove this bolt right here. That's this is one of 3. 1, and there's a bolt right back here. Get a bit of a close-up there. That bolt right there. So 2. And then last but not least, and the third one is going to be this one right here. That one right there. So I'm going to go ahead and release those, loosen those up, and then we'll be able to pull this support arm out. So this one here is a 19 mil, and what I've been doing to loosen them up is just give it a bit of a kick here from the bottom, if I can. When all else fails, use the impact. This one here is also a 19 mil. And there's the nut on the bottom, or sorry, the nut on the top, and like the bolt goes right through, and there's a nut fastening it on the top, whereas opposed to the one that I just did, there's no nut. It's just the bolt. loose. And I've got one of these ratchet wrenches as well, which work really well for these tight spaces. So for this one here, I got the nut off, but I found the best way to get it out because you can't really fit a hammer through this gap here. So I just take my regular wrench and basically loosen it the whole length of the bolt, which is kind of a pain, but I found it the easiest way. Especially since I don't have a lift and I can't get my impact wrench in there. Alright, last but not least, the actual ball joint nut, which is a 17 mil. And again, I'm lucky enough to have an impact, so I'm going to be using that. So, to remove this one, might be a bit stiff here. So you can take a hammer, don't forget to put the nut back onto, sorry I'm doing this on the other side here, but, so you can throw the nut back on. I see mine has a bit of rust there on the thread, but we'll see how this goes. I'm going to take a hammer to it. There you go. She's out. I'm going to be reusing my nuts and bolts, even though they're a little rusty. So I found the best way to actually drop this ball joint, because it's kind of tight in there. It's been seized up in there for a bit. This is an 09, so yeah, 11 years. Let's see here. Got one of these. Right? And there's a bit of a gap. You can see the gap there. Right there, this gap here, just wedge it in there. You have to do this once the nut is out. What this will do is just open it up enough so it relieves the pressure on the ball joint. Alright, see if that's enough. Alright, so we're going to go with throwing the back corner here in first. Actually, what I found was if I get the whole wheel assembly out of the way, it helps. So, the clamp, if I can find it. Okay, so what I like to do is move this sucker right out of the way if I can. Any sort of clamp should do here. There you go. So now I've got a bit more room on the left side here. Hopefully that doesn't get in the way. Alright. So what I'm doing here is trying to line up the holes to get the bolt through, and to do that, kind of get it roughly where it needs to go. Put a screwdriver. I just got this flathead screwdriver here, and I'm trying to line it up from underneath. There you go. Give that a shot. So bolt goes through the bottom, nut on the top. Not lined up yet. There you go. And just to prevent that from falling out, while you're moving this around, just throw the nut on loosely for now. We'll tighten it up later. Alright. Now you can release this clamp as well. Alright, now that that one's done, we're going to move on to the ball joint, getting that ball joint in, which I found to be actually relatively easy, and I'll show you how. Okay, so since I've left this wedge in there, all you need to do is line it up and then take a jack and jack up the ball joint into the hole. So here, we'll line it up here quick. There you go. So I got it roughly lined up. Keep the pressure on it so it doesn't fall out. just lift it into place. There we go. Now that it's in place, I'm going to throw the nut back in. Got a bit of rust in the hole there. Alright. I'll take my wedge out. Throw the nut on the other side. Release the jack. And now last but not least. In this one here, I just kind of pull the whole knuckle assembly here, wheel assembly, brake assembly, pull that, line it up a little bit, and then just push it back in. Okay, so all I'm doing here is just lining up the holes again. Just take a round tool or a screwdriver and just line it up as best you can. There you go, that should work. There we go. Okay. Here's your 19 mil if you need it. Nice and snug. Let's not forget to tighten this one up. I'll go ahead and do that. Alright, once you have this bolt tightened down, you're done. So again, 1, 2, 3 bolts. There you have it. New ball joint, newer control arm installed in about 20 to 30 minutes. Hope this helped you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And if you like this content, please like and subscribe.